me a second, guys. I'm cleaning my glasses. Oh, hello, Jedis. How are my fellow Jedis doing out there? Let me see. Is my audio clear? Yes, it is. All right. I guess I'm live. Oops, wait. There we go. I guess I'm live. Awesome. Thank you for joining me, my fellow Jedis of the New Earth. Namaste. So, I have some interesting information regarding what's happening in Hawaii, guys. Okay, so we have to understand that we do live in a multiverse where different alternative Earths are coexisting with, on different timelines, okay? So, with that in mind, all right, we have to understand, we have to perceive reality through the quantum model of reality, right? Where everything is in a state of superposition, right? Things are happening uh, on all these different versions, okay? So, with that have said, okay, I was informed by a person who actually works with the White Hats in the um, destabilization and neutralization of the underground tunnels and bases. Okay. She does it because of her gifts. She's a remote viewer and she's able to pinpoint exactly where, certain corrupt individuals are hiding, um, perhaps also where they have certain kids. And she also knows how to locate biological weapons of mass destructions, also known as biolabs. Okay. So I'm not going to mention her name, but she does work with the White Hats. Haven't heard from her in over 6 months. Okay, she's been really busy. Now, this is a different perspective. Okay, um, despite or on the contrary, rather, from what everyone else is saying, that it is definitely, directed energy weapons done or inflicted by the, darksters, the cabal. According to her, I'm not going to mention any names, but according to her, it's actually, I don't even want to say it, but I'm going to have to say it, guys. And I'm not saying this is true. This is what I've heard. According to her, it is what's happening right now in Hawaii is being done by the White Hats, okay? And this is her reasoning. In Hawaii, there are many underground tunnels, okay? And there's also a lot of biolabs, similar to the Ukraine. A lot of biolabs where the cabal and the reptilians have been building a lot of weapons of mass destruction. Okay, there's also a lot of underground tunnels where a lot of the children have been kept, and it's believed that in the last 6 months they've actually were able to evacuate a lot of the children, and all that was left was the reptilians. A lot of reptilians live in the underground of the Hawaiian region, specifically in the island of Maui. Okay, so according to her, the advanced weapon systems, including HARP, is no longer under the control of the cabal. All right, it's actually under the control of the Earth Alliance and the White Hats, according to her, guys. And the reason why they burned Hawaii down, and it sucks because there were hundreds of casualties. All right, hundreds of people died. But she says in the long run, if they were to release these weapons of mass destruction, that would have actually killed billions of people. So it is a military operation done by the good guys. Yes, there's going to be a few casualties, but in turn, it's going to safeguard and protect billions of lives. Okay. Now, secondly, all right. Secondly, guys, a lot of the reptilians that are trying to hide from the galactic tribunals and from the interstellar and interplanetary neutralization of negative ETs have actually also hidden in the island of Maui, not just in Ukraine, but also in the island of Maui. From what I've heard, is that the reptilians cannot survive in hot weather. Okay, and that explains why a lot of them are in Antarctica. All right, that explains why Hitler went to Antarctica, because the main Draco base that is known as Base 211, right? That's where the Nazis were able to continue their research and the development of advanced anti-gravity aircraft took place in Antarctica because of the fact that reptilians, by nature, need to live in cold weather. Okay, so the White Hats had to do this in order to destroy the reptilian population that exists underneath the Maui Island. All right, because they know that the reptilians cannot live in the heat; they die. So it is the White Hats' final attempt to eradicate any remnants of the reptilian species, of the Dracos that have been lurking in certain underground regions of the planet. And a huge hotspot was obviously the island of Maui. So this is a different perspective than what everybody else is putting out there on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook. I mean, I'm getting it from TikTok, right? Everybody's saying, oh, it's the cabal, inflicting direct energy weapons. There's a lot of videos that are showing us that there's beams coming from the sky and only hitting particular regions, okay? But according to my White Hat friend, who has been clearing these dumps for many years, it is all being done by the White Hats. Okay, now that's a perspective. I'm just throwing it out there, guys, all right? For various reasons. Again, the first reason was to what? To pretty much destroy the biolabs that are in Maui. There's been a lot of biolabs there, unbeknownst to the general public. And secondly, they did burn down all those billions of dollars of estates that were owned by who? All right. Oprah, I guess I don't want to say her name, but OPRAH. Okay. As you guys know, she was on the list, on the list. That's all I'm going to say. Jeffrey. Okay. I'm trying to speak in codes here so I don't get stripes. So, and then of course, a lot of the people that are associated with what? Black, ROCK, all right? That's the biggest, the most powerful corporation on the planet, Black, ROCK, and Van, GAURD. Van, I'm not going to pronounce the full name. I don't want to, trigger the algorithms. So a lot of those people that were associated with these, big corporations had a lot of estates there in that area. So based on that perspective, it would rather make sense that the White Hats would be the ones behind, again, the destruction of, the burning of all of that. I don't want to get striked. I hope I'm speaking in codes, but I know you guys understand what I'm trying to say. All right. There was a huge reptilian population living underneath the island of Maui. All right. First and foremost, reptilians cannot live in the heat. All right. A lot of the estates owned in those areas were owned by deep state members, including, OPRAH. I don't want to say her full name. And of course, the underground biolabs. Okay. Those underground biolabs needed to be destroyed. Okay. So if that is the case, guys, if that is true, then obviously the deep state no longer has access to this advanced weaponry systems, including HAARP. All right. So they are no longer engineering, fake earthquakes and tsunamis. All right. It's neutralized. The White Hats are in control. If that is the case, the White Hats are in control, which means that what's happening in court with 45, right, as he brings his witness to testify as to what happened in 2020, right, when they stole the, and then what's happening with all the evidence that they unearthed regarding the BIDEN, Brandon's family, right, with all the, CONE, I hope, no, COCAINE, all right, if you guys know what that means, the white powder dust found in the White House. It all makes sense that what we're going to be witnessing here is the fall of the deep state on a mass scale and mass arrest, which means that the liberation of humanity is near. If that is the case, if indeed it was the White Hats again who were the ones that literally, obliterated the estates and what's been happening in Hawaii. Okay, if that is the case, then obviously we are on the brink. We are on the brink. And as far as the exposure of the deep state, the elimination of any reptilians that are still lurking, and then, of course, the implementation of the new financial system with NESARA and GESARA. All right. So that is what I heard. Okay. Use your own judgment. If it resonates, cool. All right. I'm just throwing it out there, guys. We have to, as Jedis, we have to see things from a multi-layered perspective. Okay. Everyone else is saying that it's that these advanced weapon systems are still being controlled by the dark side. Well, what if my friend is correct? What if those weapon systems have been taken from the dark side and are now being used by the White House in order to bring down the cabal? What if? All right. And of course, destroy the biolabs and the last of the reptilian population that was existing underneath, the island of Maui. I hope I'm speaking in codes. I really don't want to trigger the algorithms, but I just wanted to throw that out there, guys. So let's start having a little bit more faith in the Earth Alliance and the forces of good instead of just seeing only the negative. All right. Let's not feed into the negative narrative that is being pushed by, the controlled Mockingbird media. And of course, all these, I know, see, a lot of people are saying it makes sense. I agree with you. Okay, cool. Now, if you guys remember when I had Jenny Lee a week ago, and Jenny Lee was saying that there was a lot of underground tunnels underneath, that's all she could say, and she couldn't say anything else. Think about it. It makes perfect sense, guys. Okay, again, reptilians cannot live in a heated environment, okay? When especially when there's fire, they die. They get burned, all right? Reptilians have to live in a cold environment. And that explains why their base, most of their, colonies have been over where? In Antarctica. So if this is correct, it means that Antarctica is next. And the reason why the glaciers are melting, it's not because of global warming, guys. It's because the White Hats in the last few years have been using their own weapons against them. So they're melting down Antarctica. Once Antarctica is melted, guess what? The reptilian presence in the planet is done, is finished. All right? Which means that the cabal is next. All right? As far as like being exposed and being hung. All right, so I just wanted to throw out there. Again, we have to have an open mind, guys. We can't just always believe the negative narrative that the cabal is still in control, that they're still using HARP and advanced, energy weapon systems to create and destroy humanity, right? And create these artificial earthquakes and tsunamis and fires. Yes, they did do that in the last years, but in the last couple of years, things are shifted. All right, things have been shifted where they lost control of their advanced technologies. All right, so now I'm going to take some questions. So I wanted to start this by introducing, or at least by giving you a different perspective, rather, based on the intel that I received from a person who's actually been working with the White Hats in the underground tunnels, as far as rescuing the children is concerned. All right, guys. Oh, okay. So what I would like to do at the end of this live is we're going to take a moment of silence, perhaps for about 5 minutes, and we're going to pray for the victims, for the few hundred casualties that suffered what happened in the last week or so. Okay, so we're going to, at the end of this live, guys, join me on a just 5 minute of silence where we're going to direct all of our attention for the innocent people who had to suffer the fate of being killed or losing their home, or who are still floating in the ocean with no food and no shelter. So at the end of this live, we're going to take 5 minutes, and I want all of the Jedis, right, to collectively put our focus into praying for these victims. Okay, but again, we have to look at it in terms of it was either going to be billions of people eliminated if they would have released these weapons of mass destruction, or we were going to, lose a few hundred people, unfortunately, innocent people, but in order to what? To protect the billions of people, okay? So it would make perfect sense that sometimes the White Hats have to sacrifice a small portion a very small portion, and it sucks that this needs to happen, guys, okay? In order to what? To preserve the majority of the humans on Earth, okay? Because these, from what I understand, is that these weapons that were there underneath the island of Maui, in the subterranean tunnels, were going to make, what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki look like candy. Okay, guys. So I will be taking some questions now. All right. So Sandy, thank you for the $9.99. I appreciate that, sister. Hey there, with the amazing Jason Shurka and EE system, why would they need to exist when we won't need it as we ascend? And you're absolutely right, Sandy. Okay, you're absolutely right. Our bodies were designed to heal themselves. Okay, our bodies are an intelligent organic mechanism. So yes, we don't really need med beds and energetic healing systems as we ascend, okay? Because our bodies are going to go through a natural process of healing themselves. However, for those that go into the fourth dimensional Earth, are still going to be what semi-mortal, which means that they are going to need these healing modalities, okay, guys? But if you're a star seed, like I mentioned before, your body's going to naturally heal itself because we're going to be activating the dormant DNA, or at least the crystalline structure, where it's vibrating at such a high frequency where no illnesses exist and everything just regenerates back to normal. Your telomeres, the caps that were put on our telomeres that cause us to age, they're going to be removed. And all of a sudden, your genetic structure is going to be regenerating as it was during the times of Atlantis, which means we're going to live for thousands and thousands of years. Okay? So yes, we're not going to need these, energy healing systems in the fifth dimension, to answer your question. All right, so let's take some more questions and answers. Oh, yes, but I do agree that right now we do need these EEE systems and any alternative form of medicinal technology because, right now there's still a lot of people that are suffering from these illnesses. So I don't have anything against the EE systems, all right? Everything that was developed through the Rife technology, I'm all for that, guys, because it's using natural frequencies to restore the body's health. Okay. Whereas, the pharmaceutical cartel uses chemicals that, it cures one thing, but it causes like a million things to go wrong. Not to mention those chemicals that they use in the pharmaceutical industries are actually more like poison to the body. And guess where the cartel, as I call it, the pharmaceutical cartel, originated from? It was developed by a German company called IG Farben. All right. It all began with the Nazis, guys. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Okay. All right. So Lewis says, Ishmael, maybe those who died had been born into this life. Oh, I don't want to lose your question. Hold on. Where are you? Maybe those who died, who were born into this life at this time, are volunteers to sacrifice their lives for the good of all. Exactly. Yes. I do believe that in a sense, things are pre-contractual where we agree to come into incarnation and to be part of a sacrifice in order to save, many, many people. So perhaps those that died in the fire, it was part of their soul contract. But what we do know is that death is a transition. All right. It is not the end of it all because we are eternal spirits, guys. This is just an avatar. So if anything, those people that, passed away due to the fires are now living in a happier reality, perhaps in a fifth dimensional body, okay? Waiting for us to reunite with them. All right, so let's continue taking more questions. All right, Cosmo Girl says, Amanda, true, just suffering before. Okay, so she's responding to somebody else. Isabel K wants to know if I've seen Sailor Moon. No, I've never seen Sailor Moon. Is it a movie? Is it a television series? It's similar to Dragon Ball Z. Okay, so it's an anime. It's about spiritual awakening and past lives. I was a big fan, and I still am, guys. There's times, despite all the work that I do, I'm still like a kid at heart. All right, for those who understand or know about Dragon Ball Z, it is disclosing the truth about the multiverse. You know, many civilizations achieving states of power through the accumulation of chi energy, vibration, and much more. Well, I still watch episodes here and there, and it's animation. Yes, I know. Like, why would a grown man be watching cartoons? It's not a cartoon. It's very metaphysical, guys. All right. You know, type in Dragon Ball Z, watch a few episodes, guys. It's very metaphysical. It's gonna blow your minds. Okay, so I am Sunny Side Up says one on Earth is Maldek. Okay, so Maldek used to be a planet that used to exist in our solar system 4 million years ago. And due to the Mars Maldekian Wars, Maldek was destroyed. Okay, so again, in my book, Our Cosmic Origin, I talk about the suppressed history of our solar system, which connects to the galactic history. So, in its original makeup, our solar system had 12 planets, with Nibiru being the 12th, right? Which comes in every 3,600 years. Maldek was part of the Jovial systems. I believe it was right after Saturn, after Jupiter and Saturn. Now it's known as the Kuiper Belt, right? Which is a little bigger than the asteroid belt. At one point, our solar system had Tiamat in between Mars and Jupiter, which was pretty much the Earth 4 times the size. And it also had planet Maldek, and it also had Nibiru. So we were part of a 12-planet solar system. And during the infiltration of the the first colony, during the age of Polaria, before Hyperborea, when the Earth was still Tiamat, 4 times the size, the negative ETs, the reptilians of Lower Orion, infiltrated us through the Mars colony. So they first infiltrated us through Mars, causing its decline and corruption, and then they secretly brewed a military outpost on planet Maldek, which is now the Kuiper Belt. Of course, back then, Nibiru, the Battlestar planet, was working for the light before it was hijacked by the dark side. And so what ended up happening is after the reptilians developed their weapons of mass destruction on Maldek, they destroyed and disseminated all the human colonies that existed on Mars, that existed on Venus, and all the jovial planets. The entire solar system was populated by human civilizations approximately 4.5 million years ago. And unfortunately, Nibiru during that time wasn't able to stop Maldek from destroying the first seeding in our solar system because, like I mentioned before, Nibiru was programmed to patrol over 200,000 solar systems, right, as it goes in its elliptical orbit between us and the Sirius B star system. So Nibiru came a little too late. But as soon as it arrived, after seeing the dissemination of all human colonies, it beamed Maldek into obliteration, and that's how Maldek now became the Kuiper Belt. So Maldek was a planet that used to exist in our solar system. To answer your question, okay, so Christine says, what about the souls from Maldek? All right, so it appears that from what I understand, human civilization in Maldek existed in the inner part of Maldek, because even Maldek is hollowed, just like the Earth, right? It's a hollowed planet, like 99% or 95% of the planets out there. I would say 95%. Not all planets are hollowed, but a great number of them are. So the reptilian population existed on the surface, all right? So what ended up happening was Nibiru was able to teleport the humans. Using an advanced technology, they were able to teleport humans from the inner Maldek area into planet Nibiru. However, there were a few humans that sided with the Maldakians, where they leaned towards service to self and the Luciferian rebellion. And unfortunately, those humans had to be disseminated and obliterated as well because they chose the dark side. All right, guys, that's what happens when we Jedis decide to become Sith Lords. All right, eventually, we will we will get our demise if we choose to join the dark side. All right. So I hope that none of you ever become a Sith Lord. All right. Otherwise, you guys are going to be booted out of my chat. I only like Jedis. Let's see. So that's what happened to Maldek. Okay. But yeah, so the humans. Okay. Oh, your question. The remaining humans of Maldek that were actually teleported over to Nibiru have also returned to the earth. They have reincarnated back to the earth. So on the earth, we have um, humans that have been reincarnated from Maldek that were, good, that decided not to join the dark side. But we also have Martian humans. Okay, so the Martians aren't little green man, guys. The original Martian colony was inhabited by humans, just like me and you. Okay, except they were of a type 1, type 2 stellar galactic level of civilization status. So a lot of the Martians have also returned to the Earth. So the Earth is a melting pot of a lot of these species that have been destroyed throughout the galactic wars. So a lot of our home planets, guys, unfortunately, have been destroyed. And now the Earth is going to be our new home. Okay. So, because of the fact that the etheric essences of these planets do continue to exist on the morphogenetic fields, when the galaxy ascends, as we go into the Terra Earth, right, which is Harmonic Universe 2, all those planets are going to be restored. And then at that point, as we ascend into the Terra Earth, we're going to be able to commune, right, from this planet over to our home planet and back and forth. So at that point, you're going to be free to, travel the universe and go back to your home world. To answer your question. All right, so we do have another question here by Louise Hamblin. The esoteric books talk about the law of sacrifice. You have read some of these books. I have read some of the esoteric literature. Not all, some of it, okay? There's a lot of esoteric literature. In fact, most of the esoteric literature, guys, was hoarded by the Vatican, all right? After they destroyed the Alexandrian Library, they took all that information and they hoarded it underneath the Vatican. But it is a time now, due to the times that we're living in, all that information is rising. Okay, so yes, I do agree. The law of sacrifice. So as we explore the esoteric realm, see, as Jedis, guys, we have to, part of being, who we are is we have to also, how can I say it, embed ourselves in the esoteric metaphysical knowledge, okay? And according to the metaphysical esoteric, what they call the secret knowledge, there is no death, okay? Everything is a rebalancing of energies, okay? So like I mentioned before, the people that are incarnated and they are in a state of suffering or, being tortured or being enslaved or being, abused is because that's something that they did in a prior life. Everything in the universe has to recalibrate in order for the ascension to take place, which is reaching 0 point. So according to the law of sacrifice, sometimes, people do decide to sacrifice themselves for the greater good, which means that their exaltation is greater. As a result of that, their soul is going to end up at a higher level of reality. Okay. So there are benefits that come with, sacrificing yourself for the benefit of others. And that is that you will receive a higher exaltation as far as, moving into dimensions that are way up high. Okay, so I do agree with that, by the way. Moving into realities, dimensional realities that are beyond, what we could understand. So again, I do also want to make mention that our ascension doesn't stop in the 12D Earth, guys. Okay, so we are going to move into Harmonic Universe 5 as we go into dimensions 13, 14, and 15. Now, the difference between us and the other extraterrestrials is that we have the genetics in order to house an oversoul, which could operate in the realm of eternities, which is, Harmonic Universe 5, dimensions 13, 14, and 15, while maintaining physical form. No other extraterrestrial race out there has that ability, but we do. So that's what makes us different, okay? So we are going to be more powerful than any creator God ever as we continue advancing in our evolution, in our ascension. And from what I understand is that Harmonic Universe number 6 is being developed at this time due to the experience, right? Due to the descension process of involution. So now we have a new realm of eternity that is encompassing dimensions 16, 17, and 18. And I will explore more of that in the next book. But in order to understand the next coming book, which is going to probably be out in summer of 2024, you have to first read my curtain book. Otherwise, you're going to be clueless. Because I'm going to talk about the super universe of Orvonton. I'm going to talk about the 12 major creations. I'm going to talk about the different dimensional realms. And all that stuff is revealed in my current book, Our Cosmic Origin. Okay, guys? So make sure you read Our Cosmic Origin in order to understand the next book. Otherwise, you guys are going to be clueless. Let's see. All right, so yeah, I love natural medicine too, Leda. I think we all do here. I think that's what distinguishes us from the normies is that we see past the the bull crap and we resort to natural, organic, homeopathic remedies. I've always believed in that. All right, let's see. All right, is your source in the same group as Ray? Says Savvy. Um, you know, I really don't know much about the TLS or the light system guys, but according to Jason Shirka, that's their version of the Earth Alliance or the Y Hats, and it seems like we're conducting the Y Hats and TLS are conducting the same operations and missions. Okay, there is a parallel to that, but that's all I know. I really don't know much about TLS. Somebody send me Ray's video, but Ray is saying that what happened in Maui was the result of the evildoers, whereas my friend who told me otherwise says that no, it's actually the other way around. The evildoers don't have the technologies anymore. They were stripped from all of that technology, and now the white hats have it all. They have all this advanced technology in their hands. All right. So all we're seeing now is just a puppet show, and soon Brandon is about to be eliminated. So I don't know. Just to answer your question, I really don't know much about TLS. Let me see. All right. So Patricia, thank you for the donation, sister. Appreciate that. All right, Ishmael, AI and Earth Diamond Core. All right. Will the diamond frequency expand beyond the surface as I feel it? And as I feel it is. I'm sorry, guys. I'm borrowing. These aren't my real glasses, so I bought these at CVS. These are, they're not even prescription glasses. So I got to go find my real glasses. I actually lost them, but I'm probably just going to order a new pair. So she's saying, AI and Earth Diamond Core, will the diamond frequency expand beyond the surface as I feel it is and push AI out to be returned to oneness? Yes. Yes. That seems about right. Because you have to understand, just like how we have a crystalline structure, which comprises the other 96% of our genetic material, so does the planet. See, the planet is only using its carbon-based physical structure, right? Which is related to the earth, fire, wind, and air. Now, or earth, fire, wind, and air, the four elements. But there's also the ether, the fifth element. And I believe that the ether corresponds to the activation of the earth crystalline structure. So as the earth's crystalline structure becomes activated, right, perhaps due to the solar flash, it is going to disseminate and disintegrate the entire AI structure. And I've been saying that for over a year, guys. I believe that is synonymous to the second coming of the Christ, which is the activation of the Christ mind. Due to the solar flash event, all of us are going to become like the Christ. We're going to have these amazing powers. And even the Christ, Yeshua predicted that we're going to be doing even greater things than him. Now, if he was already telepathic and healing the sick and raising the dead and walking on water, he said we were going to do greater things, guys, which means we're probably going to be flying, teleporting. We're going to be moving, things with our mind, telekinesis. So I'm excited. Let's see. So yeah, to answer your question, Patricia, yes, that seems to be correct. All right, so Joanne, can anyone please answer? I know he's answered this, but I forgot about type O blood. Now, type O blood, it depends. If it's Rh negative, it's the universal donor. It is the blood that everyone else could take, and it's also the highest concentration of celestial genetics, okay? The O negative blood type. However, the O positive does contain somewhat of the, see if I could say the word right, rhesus monkey antigen protein. I don't know. Last time it was a tongue twister for me, but I think I got it right this time. So O positive carries a little bit of the what is known as the rhesus monkey antigen protein, which is primitive genes. However, Rh negative O or O negative is the universal donor. Okay, those are the difference between O negative and O positive. To answer your question, Joanne. All right. Let's see. Remember, guys, that at the end of this live, we're going to take 5 minutes of silence and we're all going to focus and pray for the casualties and all of those that have suffered in Hawaii. Okay. So we're going to do that at the end of this live. Let's see. So I'm trying to get to people that I've never answered. I'm trying to be fair here to the best of my ability. Yes, I do agree. For now, we do need EEE systems and frequency technologies until our bodies heal themselves. I strongly agree. All right. All right. So Tammy Benson, Tammy says, what do you think they're going to do with the so-called stars homes since they are supposedly diseased? Are you talking about the mansions that, the big homes that were owned by the billionaires that were, destroyed in the fires? Nothing. I believe that the White Hats are going to rebuild it on the positive ascending timeline, guys. If and so, the intel that I received from my White Hat friend is correct, what we're going to be seeing is that island is going to be given back to the natives of Hawaii. Okay, there will be no more smart cities there, guys. Okay, so this is an interesting twist here. Okay, let's see. I'm going to share something with you guys, but first I'm going to answer Tristan Early's question for the 1111 donation. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, my fellow Jedi. Will the Orions be removed for what they did to Hawaii? Okay, so Tristan, I don't think you caught the first 10 minutes of my live. What I revealed was that there is a possibility that the DEWs, right, the directed energy WEAPONS systems, are actually no longer controlled by the cabal, that they are actually now in the hands of the White Hats, and that the reason why the good guys did that was for three things. First was to destroy the biolabs, all right, because first they needed to clear out all the children, all right, and secondly was to destroy the remnant of the last of the reptilian population that existed there, all right, because reptilians cannot live in hot weather, and thirdly, in order to install and give the land back to the natives. Okay, so that is the reason why what happened there happened. It was not done by the evildoers. It was actually done by the good guys. Because if they would have released these weapons of mass destruction, the casualty would have been billions, as opposed to just a couple hundred or so. So it would have been billions. So sometimes the White Hats do operate like that in order to safeguard as many people as possible. All right. So according to the intel that I received, it was actually done by the good guys. The dark evil doers no longer have access to any of the advanced technologies. They have been stripped. They don't even control HARP anymore, or they don't even control CERN. From what I understand, even CERN is in the hands of the good guys now. Okay, just to answer your question. And yes, the negative Orions, as well as the negative, any negative. See, let's not generalize here. Not all Orions are negative. There's a lot of star systems in the constellation of Orion that are actually benevolent, and they're working within the light. It's just a small portion within the lower belt of Orion, primarily around the Alpha Draco system, the Regal system, and the Electric system, where the evildoers come from. But let me also reveal this. There's a few Pleiadians that are negative. They're called the Renegade Pleiadians, okay? There's a few positive ETs from the Federation that became negative that eventually were infiltrated by AI. So not all, we can't generalize, guys. There's good and evil in every species. There's Arcturians that fell. There's Arcturians that are evil. Okay, there's Andromedans that are evil. There's Alpha Centaurians that are evil. So we can't generalize. Okay, so but again, that's a small portion. You know, the majority of the Arcturians, of course, the majority of the Andromedans, Alpha Centaurians, and Pleiadians are good, but a small portion. There's always those that defect from the light to join the dark side in service to self. Okay, because everybody has free will in this cosmos. Okay, so this is what I was going to explain, guys. All right, so remember how I was saying that there's all these alternative Earths that are coexisting simultaneously? What if on the negative timeline, the Cabal still has access to these advanced weapon systems and they are building the smart cities there? All right, but that's happening on the negative timeline. All right, but there will be a bifurcation very soon. And according to Sam the Illusionist, who is my friend, the splitting is already happening, guys. So on the negative timeline, you know, the white hats aren't in control. The dark hats still are. And yeah, they're installing smart cities, all right, in everywhere on the planet. On the positive timeline, the white hats are in control. We're going to be witnessing the fall of the deep state, the restoration of human liberties, sovereignty back to the planet, you know, the quantum financial system, advanced technologies that are beneficial and non-harmful to the human race, that are actually healthy for our environment and our bodies. So that's all happening on the positive timeline, all right? But there will be a split. So depending on your vibration, you're either going to go negative spectrum, positive spectrum, and then of course there's all these in-betweens that are just slightly different versions of the Earth. Okay, to give you a good example of this, guys, go watch the latest Spider-Man movie. That movie is, yes, it's anime, of course, but it's mind-blowing in terms of explaining the multiple Earth multiverse phenomena. All right. So there are different versions of the Earth where, you know, I am not part of the disclosure committee, where I'm a carpenter or I'm a construction worker. All right. Just like how in the movie Spider-Man, when he accidentally went into the wrong parallel Earth, he didn't have the spider powers. He ran into a villain version of himself. All right, I'm not going to spoil the movie, but go watch the recent Spider-Man in the Metaverse. That explains reality really well to the T. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Texan. Okay, Texan Whaler donated $9.99. Thank you, fellow Jedi. I appreciate that. I like the little bird as well. How cute. The bird with the red cape. Let's see. Yes. Okay, let me bring this out or talk about this. Patricia, I'm not even going to pronounce her last name. Hislip Trish of Pat says there's also a divine empowerment, regeneration, healing that I think you mentioned on an interview with Antonia. Yes, that is correct, guys. Okay, so I believe I posted that interview on my page, on my channel here. So go in the history and watch that interview where I'm actually interviewing Victoria. Oh, I'm sorry, Antonia. That's her name, Antonia. Antonia is a marvelous Jedi. All right. She's like a wizard woman. And she teaches people how to heal themselves and how to regenerate, where you no longer age anymore, which is fascinating stuff. Okay. Which is similar to my 2 techniques that I teach at the end of my 3rd course in the Starseed Cosmology, except they're different methods achieving the same results. Okay. But that is absolutely right. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up, Patricia. I appreciate that. All right, let's see. All right, so America Sosa says, no, Ishmael, it's not a sacrifice. It was a collective volunteering. Yes, but bear in mind that before we incarnate, we already plan out our life. Everybody that you meet, that you get involved with, was already pre-contractual in a way. Everything's already done, designed before you come into being, into the 3rd dimension, I mean. All right? All right, let's see. All right, so this is a good question from Liz. Karsten says, will star seeds be able to heal the normies? Yes, correct. After the ascension versus medbeds. Absolutely, yes, because we're going to have, again, if Jesus said that we're going to be doing greater things than him, all right? Of course we're going to be able to heal anybody through the laying of our hands, right? Through the frequency that we generate through the chakras right here, guys, right? We have chakra points everywhere in our body, especially right here, right? And all over our body. I believe we have over 300 and something chakras with ley lines running through our body, similar to the ley lines of the earth, but in our case, they're called meridians. All right. So to answer your question is absolutely, we're going to have the power. Star seeds are going to have the power to heal fourth dimensional earth terrans. Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, and also another great movie to watch that is also disclosing information is the latest Transformers movie, The Rise of the Beast. The Rise of the Beast, which pretty much reveals the activities of the alien AI god that I've been talking about, Omega Saurian. All right, he just pops into systems and literally consumes planets within minutes. He eats planets just to, preserve his own energetics. He assimilates worlds rather. Um, let's see. All right, so somebody wants to know, they asked, can you tell me how we raise our vibration? There are many things that help you raise your vibration. The most important thing is, are you waking up with gratitude every morning? And are you going to bed with gratitude? Having gratitude, or feeling gratitude rather, and feeling grateful for the things that you do have, open up more opportunities for the universe to bless you with. Okay. Secondly, are you in control of your thoughts? Your thoughts create, guys, right? Everything is a thought form before it becomes manifested. This chair, this house, everything was a thought form. And are you in control of your emotions? All right. Your emotional state of being also determines what happens in your daily activities. And it's also very important, guys, to eat healthy, raw, organic. If you eat meat, make sure it's from local farmers. All right. Don't buy meat anymore at the grocery store. That's all contaminated. All right. So try to stick to a lot of fruits and vegetables, right? And drink water that is spring, alkaline, Cajun, living water, right? Where the molecules are small enough, capable of being absorbed by your body, so you get all the right elements in your system. And then, most importantly, guys, establish 20 to 30 minutes a day. Um, Establish a form of spiritual connection to source, whether it's through meditation, Tai Chi. There are different formats, even dance. I hear that some people love to dance. That's another form of connecting with God. Anything that puts you in that vibration. All right. Whether it's, drawing, if you guys are artists, if you like to draw, that's going to raise your frequency. All right. So, but also don't forget to take 20 to 30 minutes a day, sit in a comfortable position, and just, give that moment to the divine. All right. And that's how we raise our frequency. All right. So, TTT Tran, thank you for the $20 donation, sister. I appreciate that. I appreciate the number one. Thanks to you and all of the star seeds. If Dark Entity Soul Trap existed, what happened after death, before Soul Trap, and during the Soul Trap? Okay, so before the Soul Trap, that was implemented by the negative Anunnaki through Marduk and the rings of Saturn and the moon and what they call the black box, or the black the black satellite. Before that, we didn't die, guys. We lived for thousands and thousands of years. And then after we left our bodies, we just voluntarily, we transitioned into a new body. All right. Death didn't exist the way it does now, because we existed in a higher dimension. Remember, guys, death is only existing in the third dimension. Beyond the fifth dimension, there is no death. There's just translation from one level of reality to the next, voluntarily, at will. You decide when you want to go into a higher density, all right, where your body's less dense. All right. So to continue answering your question, if there's no more soul trap now, what happens after death now? Well, I've mentioned this many times in the past. This is the final incarnation, guys. This is the body that once we activate the dormant DNA, our light body, Merkaba, whatever you want to call it, our energetic vehicles, as we integrate those with this physical body, this body is going to become spiritualized and immortalized. And this is the body that we're going to take with us as we continue ascending into the realms of eternity. So I don't believe that any of us here in this chat will be experiencing death. Okay? And yes, the moon Saturn soul trap matrix that was installed by the negative Anunnaki has been neutralized in the last 3 years. So that means that the souls that are dying are going straight to the fifth dimensional Earth. No, in the last 6 years. So that means that the souls that are dying are going directly into, they're freed from that cycle of death and rebirth, and they're going directly into the fifth dimensional Terra Earth. All right, so Patricia, thank you for the $299. My God. Is that American money? Oh, by the way, thank you. Somebody brought it to my attention that the $400 donation was actually from India. And in Indian money, that translates, that's $4.99. So I still appreciate that donation, my Indian Jedi who is out there. But thank you, Patricia. That seems like that is American money. I thank you. I mean, that is a big donation. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. I feel like I'm so grateful to have, the Jedis help me, and you guys are a blessing to me. Honestly, like I couldn't be doing this without you guys. If you guys weren't out there, I would still be, probably doing a 9 to 5 job and not revealing any information. Okay. And you guys keep me afloat, guys. You guys are the reason why I keep going, and nothing's going to stop us, by the way, guys. We are the New Earth Jedi Council that is rising, emerging, and we will bring balance to the universe from this planet. Okay, so Patricia, thank you so much again for the donation. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. All right, so Heather the Prophet, I love your name, and thank you for that cartoon kitty doing a little dance. All right, Heather, thank you also for the $4.99 donation. Thank you. I appreciate that. Again, guys, I couldn't do this work if it wasn't for you guys. You guys are the reason why I keep going. All right. So I am in debt to you guys. All right. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Every single one of you guys. I love you. Just want you guys to know that. And I'm sure that we're all going to meet soon, and we're all going to be working together in the New Earth Council. All right. So we have 10 minutes left, and I do want to reserve the last 5 minutes so that we could all collectively pray for the victims of Maui, since we have 729 people on the live, which is awesome, almost 1,000, which means that we're going to have an impact on the people that have been afflicted by this terrible, event that took place the last 2 weeks. All right, so Katie, thank you so much. Oh, thank you, sister. I've been following my heart and my calling ever since I was a kid. As you guys know, about 13 years ago, I was talking about this stuff. Nobody knew about me, right? There's a video that I posted on my YouTube channel where I look much younger. That was me 13 years ago, guys, talking about this, stuff, this high level information stuff, explaining the different theorems, using cutting edge metaphysics to explain the bigger picture. So I've been passionate about my work for my whole life. Even as a kid, I was just always inquiry. I was always in a state of inquiring thing, wanting to know how everything worked, trying to decipher things for my own. So thank you so much, Kate, for that beautiful $9.99 donation. I appreciate that. And then Ricardo, thank you so much, brother, for the $5 donation. I appreciate that too. All right, so you were told that you are a volunteer coming from Sirius B. Wow. I also have a version of myself that operates in Sirius B. That's awesome. That's good to know. Pleiades and Arcturus. Yes, that's very possible, guys. That is called being a soul hybrid. Sometimes we as starseeds have different incarnations on different systems, or we come from different systems. not just one particular system. However, there is a main system where we first originated, or when we first came into this universe. But because we have had many different lives on many different timelines, we could be a collective of different star systems. So we're not just Lyran. Like, I'm not just Lyran. I'm also Sirian. I'm also Pleiadian. I'm also Arcturian. And a part of me also exists within the higher upper regions of Orion, where the councils of light exist. So that is called being a soul hybrid. All right. We're Heinz 57s, guys. You know, we carry an amalgamation of all these different star seeds, star DNA races, or star, what I call a DNA from different star races. I'm sorry, guys. I've had a long day. I've had 2 interviews already. And I still have a radio interview tonight, right after this live at 9 o'clock. I believe it's called Space Out Radio. Space Out Radio. Yep. So I might have to just drink some red ginseng with cordyceps and perhaps some green tea to stay alive for the next hour or 2 as I do the radio interview. Thank you for the $49.99 donation, MML277. Thank you so much. May the force be with you. The God source be with you. May the God source be with all of you, Jedis. And let's be strong in the force, guys. And you know how we can control the force, guys? That's right. We control the electron flow of our light body through the mind and our emotions combined. All right. Our mind emits the electromagnetic field, or the electro field, I'm sorry, and our emotions is a magnetic field. So when you combine them together, that's how we manifest. All right. And that's been proven over and over through the research of Dr. Joe Dispenza, Greg Braden, and of course Bruce Lipton, who are pioneers in this field, guys. I love those 3 characters. Those guys are amazing. You know, maverick, man, that come from the field of science and are bridging the gap between spirituality and cutting edge science. So I just want to give a shout out to Bruce Lipton, all right, and Dr. Joe Dispenza, and of course Greg Braden. Those guys are awesome. Let's see. All right. Before we do our 5-minute prayer, I'm going to answer 2 more questions just randomly from the live chat, since we have 729 people. Let's see. Did I miss any more super chats or donations? I hope I didn't. I don't think I did. Okay, so let's see. All right, so Andromeda Daisy wants to know if all the star seeds are Rh negative, and the answer is no. Some of the star seeds are Rh positive, and it's okay to be Rh positive. All it means is that the 4% of your genetic structure that we're using, right? Because 96% of our DNA is turned off, right? They call it junk DNA. Excuse me. Has the monkey protein. In other words, it has the primitive gene. All right. But as we activate the other 96% of our DNA, it's completely going to cancel out the primitive gene. To answer your question, Andromeda Daisy. So yes, star seeds could incarnate in both Rh negative blood type and Rh positive. Okay. And I've said that many, many of times. You don't have to be Rh negative to be a star seed. You could also be positive. All right. So Irina Feiner, thank you for the donation of $9.99. Love you, Ishmael, and all our star seeds and family. So grateful. We love you too. We love you too, Irina. Thank you for being here. All right. With that have said, let's focus our energies. Let's take 5 minutes of quiet time, and put all our focus and energy in healing the victims, or those that are still struggling in the island of Maui. All right, guys. So let's take 5 minutes and use our Jedi powers to perhaps create a miracle for those people that are still struggling, and for those that, again, were victims of this fire. So with that have said, let's take 5 minutes at this time. I'm just going to be silent, guys. Let's all pray in our minds, okay? Let's all pray for just 5 minutes together. As a collective, let's send healing energy to the people that are struggling and suffering as a result of this fire. We, the Jedis of the New Earth, pray for the victims at this time. We send healing energy, positive energy, and we ask for miracles to take place for the innocent lives that have been afflicted at this time. And for those that transition in this fatal event, we honor your soul. We honor your soul. And we give you thanks. Because in turn, billions of lives were spared. And we can't wait to reunite with you in the new earth. So we honor your soul and your sacrifice. Thank you. All right, guys, one more minute of this concentrated power and collective prayer for the victims that were afflicted. We send the angels at this time. And we ask for miracles to take place. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me tonight on this beautiful live. And thank you for also joining me on this moment of prayer as we all directed our energy towards the victims of the casualties. I appreciate every single one of you guys. May the God force be with you always as we rise with our new beautiful earth. And I will see you guys. What is today? Tuesday? I'll see you guys Thursday night at the same time. All right, guys? We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night. God bless.